Ladies and gentlemen, we are on Daybreak, and down at the bottom left-hand corner, we have our purple Zerg player who has been rolling for MVP. It's none other than Dongregu. And his opponent here in the upper right-hand corner is our blue Protoss player from Team Liquid, trying to turn around their fortunes right here. It's Hero.
All right, man. So when you think of Hero, what do you think about? You think of crazy multitasking.
Yeah.
You think of Phoenix play. For some reason, I always think of Phoenix whenever I think of Hero.
Warp Prisms.
That's Warp
mine.
Prisms as well. Some kind of floating air unit. His Warp Prisms, his Void Ray even are like insanely good. His Phoenix play. And I also think of weird timings. He doesn't go conventional, the 14, 15-minute push. You try to kill off your opponent before they get out Broodlords. He'll do like a random timing at like 12 minutes and 20 seconds, even with his upgrades not all the way done, just to throw off his opponent, because his opponent will come in and see, hey, you had double forge. It means you're not going to push for another 180 seconds. And suddenly he'll see that and he'll go, you know what? I'm just going to push my opponent. And that's what's really cool about Hero, is that you can't put tabs on him. You have to be constantly active in scouting him.
And, yeah, you certainly do, because like we mentioned before, not just that, but the multitasking is going to get you if you don't have perfect map presence, too. He's going to be everywhere at once, whether it's just 2 strikes or a drop in one place and 2 attacks at another. He's always everywhere at once. So Dongregu playing very safe right now. Spawning pool coming up, wants to make sure that he's not going to take any early aggression in this game. Just this pro being very annoying, picking away at a couple of these drones.
All right, so like DRG, not taking any types of risk. Just going the standard 15 pull, as you mentioned. Now, what is Hero going to follow up into? Will he be going into a Nexus first? I certainly would not mind, but unfortunately he's not. He's popping out the probes, going for a Forge.
That's right, and he just needs to duck back here and get down a pylon block at some point, which it looks like he'll do. Dongregu not sending out 2 drones to try and drop down a hatchery at all costs, and the pylon does fall, so Hero going to make his way over to the third, and he has successfully denied these hatcheries for quite a long period of time.
Gotta love doing that, man. I like how he just beelines to the third, too. Not going to allow DRG to get any type of normal game here. Wants to try and put him back as much as possible. And will he let the pylon finish up? He does do it. So pylon finishes up at the natural, and behind this Hero should be getting expansion pretty soon. There it is. Has been popped on up. And now we have DRG just walking around trying to find where to put his 300 minerals at.
Yep, and here comes the gateway now. So, oh no, I'm sorry, photon cannon. And we'll see, although, because of course we are going to have a few lings up, and Dongregu could choose to bypass the pylon altogether. Not something you see very commonly, but could certainly happen. Pylon's going to fall here in a second. Hero just keeping this probe around to continue scouting for just a moment, but he is light years ahead on this Nexus.
Alrighty, man. So, what will Hero follow up into? I really wouldn't mind seeing Phoenix play on this map. He seems to enjoy going into the late game from the few maps that I've actually been able to see him in, of course, with Pro League, and then a few of them in the GSL. He just really likes to get nice 4 to 6 Phoenix on the map, try to harass his opponent, and then again, like, go for an awkward timing on Daybreak, because it's just a big map, so you have to throw you off your opponent, or of course you go into the late game, and Zerg, of course, is just going to have a natural advantage heading into that point, because they can take forever to get their Broodlords up, and they have a huge amount of area in the middle of the map where they can just spine crawler up. So double gas now on the way for Hero. Will he be going for Stargate?
We'll find out. Hero being very diligent with the scouting there. Of course, you have to be against a player like Dongregu. It's not likely, of course, that he was going to cancel that second hatchery or fake another hatchery or something like that, but it's always you always want to make sure you have perfect information on your opponent. Nothing is left to chance whatsoever.
All right, well, with DRG grabbing his third, he's actually, man, it's taken forever to get these hatcheries. I keep looking at the time, but I keep forgetting how far behind Hero put him behind. This is such a pain in the rear, and finally starting to get his economy under point here as he's starting to pop out a lot of queens, getting a few more queens than he would actually like to have. But still, it's got to be done. You got to spend those resources some way, somehow, just so you can be active in the game. This will allow him to get creep streamers going a little bit quicker, too. I wouldn't mind him actually starting the creep streamers in the main and then popping in the natural and then moving forward to the middle of the map.
We'll see if he starts one here in just a moment. Looks like nothing of that nature coming up so far. Both of his hatcheries do finish up at about the same time. He already has a queen prepared over at the third, too, as long as he starts his injects here momentarily. And actually starting, there was an extra queen there for a second, canceled it immediately, started injecting after that. So a little bit of a mistake, but he does rectify it. And it is indeed a Stargate for Hero on the way. So that patented Hero Stargate play, and we'll see what sort of aggression he wants to follow up. If this is just going to be mass Phoenixes, expand to a third, or if we're going to see something a little bit more concerted off of 2 bases.
Well, that Stargate looks like it's actually in the main, in the top right. So yeah, he's just going to go for Phoenix play here. You normally won't build a Voider out of there. You lose out on like 10 seconds travel time.
Yeah.
Which could be the difference between a queen popping out and potentially killing off a hatchery. So should be going into Phoenix. He does, like I mentioned, to go 4 into 6. depending on what his opponent's going for, and just harass his opponent like crazy. Kill off Overlords, make them get mineral starved, have a lot of gas floating around. That's a nice strategy that he does as well.
Yep.
So just keep an eye on Hero, man. He's most likely going to be going for a third expansion, which is great. We're going to be able to see his multitasking put on display.
Dargagu's not really going for anything crazy either. He did put up his Roach Warren a little bit later. I mean, it came at about 50 drones, 54 drones, something like that. So he's very heavily invested in economy after that initial disadvantage he had taken from losing those, from having those hatcheries blocked for so long, I guess I should say. But Roach Warren's on the way, Lair Tech's on the way, 2 gas on the way now, in addition to his ones over at the natural.
DRG's playing really smart. He actually sent Lings up at the top right corner, and he's looking around for the Phoenix play that and will most likely be impending from Hero in some way, shape, or form. He's looking for the pylons 2, or 1, and then he's looking for the potential air forces to fly across the middle of the map. So being really, really active here, and I like his placement of Lings. He keeps moving them back and forth just so he doesn't miss anything, but I like him being active here on the top right corner. Normally you won't have Phoenix come down the bottom right into the main. They usually come straight into your third, so that's why he's around that area. Oh, and he pulls away as Phoenix fly across.
Exactly.
That always happens.
Murphy's Law, right? I love, you were talking about cool building placement, though. Look at this. Hero putting his gateways everywhere, making this as hard to scout as is humanly possible.
That's
Easy
really
to lose
rare.
count. Yeah.
You never see players do that. So gonna go and pick up this queen. Should be able to deal with this. 4 colors on the way, but Hero is going to hit just in time before he will lose it. Phoenix, gotta lift it, gotta lift it, gotta lift it. There we go. Is he going to lose that Phoenix? I think he may have waited a little bit too long. No, perfect micro from Hero.
That was still really cool from Dargagu. If you saw what he did, he took his Overlords and put them directly on top of the Spore Crawler and Queen, though, so that it made it harder to click on, because then, had Hero done some sort of a misclick, had he picked up a drone instead, had he just done something, he would have lost that Phoenix for sure.
Well, roaches are starting to pop out here for DRG, and immediately Hero has queued up a Void Ray. It's going to make it a little bit easier for him to defend any aggression that does come his way, and it's really not that too much. This aggression from DRG is meant to prevent his opponent from grabbing a third. He really can't kill him off, but he can keep him from getting expansion, which of course will allow DRG to keep droning out behind this, because when you do have Phoenix play in your natural, your third, you need to make sure you're droning out behind it.
Yep. And the Phoenixes have done a pretty good amount of damage here. They're going to be required to defend in just a bit. With the Photon Cannon sentries up at the front, this base is not really in any danger. Oh, now with the Void Ray and Immortal just walk down the ramp, too. That is very secure. The Phoenixes may end up picking up a couple of roaches. No, it doesn't look like they're going to do it for now. Okay, there we go. I was about to say, he's got enough energy on these that this would be a few very, very quickly dead roaches.
So funny. Them roaches was like, nope, we're not fighting that. And then unfortunately got stuck to do so. These Lings, unfortunately, do not have speed. It's about to pop up very soon, but with Zealot, Sindri's here, a pylon on the way. Hero's got this well defended. He's playing a very immaculate game. Behind all this, though, DRG is checking correctly. I don't want to really hammer on DRG like he's playing bad or anything. He's doing all the right things. He's had aggression coming his way. He's joined up behind it. He's put a little bit of feigning pressure onto a third, and he's just been falling up into tech behind it. And he's always, even though he's lost drones on his gas, he's always replenishing them. Always make sure there's 3 always there at all times. So awesome job there.
You can see the early economic emphasis on economics at the very beginning of this game is really paying off for Dargagu. He was able to replenish those losses very quickly. He did lose a queen, he did lose 6 drones, but it didn't really set him back in any way, shape, or form. You mentioned he was attacking the right way. Well, look at that. Infestation Pit just finishes. Pathfinder Glance are already on the way. 1-1 upgrades on the way for his ground units. He's got that Spire halfway done too, so very cool stuff. This little Observer and Void Ray combo, of course, meant to pick off a few creep tumors. Only gets a couple, though, before Dargagu comes over to try and clean things out.
Focusing down those creep tumors, that's all that's important here for Hero. He doesn't care about the Lings, doesn't care about the roaches, just wants to find a way to slow down this creep spread. So isn't moving across the middle of the map. And this makes those awkward timings that he does really more valuable and able to happen, I guess, because there's no creep spread, nothing to really alert DRG right away if he doesn't scout it. So it's always very helpful for Hero at the same time.
All right, well, Hero's going to back out of here now, gathering up all of his air forces in the middle. We can see 9 infestors just being produced and +1 weapons for air already on the way. But, of course, all gas being expended for those now 10 infestors. There's a legitimate possibility here that Dargagu is going to try and hit some sort of a big roach infestor, possibly corruptor added on time here and disrupt this third base. But for now, we've got a very passive PvZ.
Yeah, Hero's going to start getting really strong very soon here. Oh, that fungal.
No.
Follow up with fungals. The Queens will get rid of them. And Hero, he's got him selected. He's trying to right-click him for that one chance that DRG misses the fungal. And he does. He saves 2 of them. But a nice catch there from DRG. Those infestors popped. Phoenix got caught.
Yeah. Now, Hero does have a powerful army back at home. His extended thermal lance is going to be finished here soon, so the Colossi will have range. But as we can see, not too much else going on here in the middle of the map, but Hero is following this up with a quite powerful army himself.
Yeah, this is a little bit of a weird timing as well. Usually you wait till you have at least 2 Colossi in the field, but Hero, again, just trying to get some counter-aggression happening. He knows that Zerg is about to get really strong. We're hitting that 1430 mark where a lot of players will start moving into their Greater Spire, whatever late game tech they want to move into. So he just wants to get some presence on the map, really. I don't think he wants to engage quite yet until his upgrades finish up. He's waiting for Blank and, of course, his +2 upgrades, but really wants to just get some presence here.
Okay, he sees the Corruptor spawning too, so he knows exactly what kind of an army he's going to have to deal with, and pulls back immediately into his third. So very powerful unit composition out for Dongrigu. Even with the amount of Zerglings that he has there, they're still going to provide a pretty good buffer for the Infestors to get in and sneak in some damage very quickly.
Alrighty, so DRG maxed out, almost 200 supply here to the 180. The Phoenix is going to go ahead and cheer on the man, the natural. Hero still keeping them alive. At the same time, we're going to have a War Prism on the way too, so reinforcements will be possible if a counterattack does happen. Hero is going to deal with these Lings very soon here. A lot of Corruptors. He blinks forward right away, but a Fungal to follow up.
Yeah, and the Fungal does trap quite a few of these up at the front. The Colossi being very well microed by Hero so far. He's able to keep those alive for the time being while dishing out some damage onto the Corruptors themselves. But one Colossus falls. The second goes down as well. Units starting to break inside of the natural at the same time. Dongrigu is actually in a pretty decent spot, actually corrupting the Immortals, trying to get a little extra damage done to them. Hero with very good blink micro, though, has been able to pull those back individually and staves off the attack for now without taking that much economic damage. In fact, no workers killed.
The force field was so well done there. The infested Terrans were popped, and then the roaches tried to attack afterwards. And we just saw Hero put down force field so the infested Terrans could actually get some damage on the stalkers, but the roaches couldn't ever follow up. So there was no way for DRG to really get a lot of damage there after those force fields were landed. And they kept landing them after over and over and over again. And so Hero was so cost effective in that trade. Starting to put the aggression on now. Remember that War Prism is finished up, so he can keep the aggression coming too.
So was the Fleet Beacon. He could go into a mothership here sometime soon, but has chosen not to quite yet. The forges were killed, so they're being reproduced here in the middle of the map. Of course, what upgrades do we have for Hero? Just +2 attacks, and his ground forces are about to get 2-2, so there will be an upgrade advantage there for Dongrigu. Then when you add on the fact that he's going to have that attack speed upgrade, the fact that he's going to have Broodlords dishing out damage with upgrades, of course, that's going to be quite the force to try and deal with. So I'm surprised that we don't have a little bit more splash damage being produced for Hero.
Yeah, it would be really helpful here. I don't see this going well without getting some more splash damage on the way. But Hero is trying to get that fourth in the bottom right corner. DRG's going to go ahead and try and deny it. 3 photon cannons are on the way. Zealot, RB, and Warped in at the same time. And he's trying to bait Hero into some kind of engagement. Does land a Fungal right away and leans charge forward.
Oh, wow. Pretty good force fields. Once again, actually trap all the Zerglings against these forces. Stalkers blink back, but the Corruptors do manage to take out the Colossus. That being said, there's still quite a few Stalkers left over, and the charge lots are going to be enough to start catching up to these forces as they retreat. So once again, Hero holds without taking any economic damage, and now finally that mothership is on the way.
Hero's doing a really good job of retaining his Stalkers. He's never allowing them to actually to be sniped off. He's always blinking them away, and just as he does that, he can always just keep reinforcing with upgrades and moving into Colossus as much as possible. It's as long as he keeps his Stalkers alive and only loses Zealot. So really just being very cost efficient. Now he's just floating around his third and fourth. Needs to be careful because there is an opening outside of his natural where his opponent could go for some aggression, and that would kind of make Hero either A, come back and defend and lose a lot of stuff, or go for a counter attack and try and base race. So needs to be careful. He has observers placed around though to prevent that from happening.
Yeah, I'm a little bit worried about Hero here for the next couple of minutes because Broodlords are making the way across the map. We have a lot of critical upgrades that aren't going to be done. Protoss air weapons even being researched too for the eventual late game. Templar Archives isn't finished up. His mothership's not on the field. This is a lot of stuff that's not quite there for Hero that Dongrigu can actually take advantage of.
And this is why it's so important to have Colossus towards the late game. It allows you to deal with these Broodlings in the front while you have the Zealots are kind of taking them, and then your Stalkers can move forward and get on top of the Broodlords. It's just, he doesn't really have that much damage available to him, and he's trying to get more warping in Stalkers right away, and it looks like DRG is ready for the engagement. It's happening right now. There are Infestors in the back. They're not in range to land a Fungal, though, because the force fields are keeping him back.
No, the Broodlings are being too good right now. Finally, one Broodlord's picked off, but a lot of Stalkers died to try and get that done. We even have Queens being sent up now for a couple extra transfusions onto the rest of the army. That mothership is finally done. I'm not sure where it spawned from. We'll have to find out here in just a bit, but I'm sure it's going to join that force here momentarily. The base is finally under siege, and Hero has some serious pressure to contend with.
Yeah, Mothership's on the way from the main. She's floating down. She's currently in the natural, but again, DRG just moving forward very, very quickly here. That last trade did not go well for Hero. He had 6 Stalkers trade for 1 Broodlord, and you just don't want to have that happen. Finally, the Mothership is popping up. Will he get the Vortex? He's going to try. Oh,
no, he doesn't have the energy for it yet because it just popped out.
It's so close. And by so close, I mean 25 energy away. He's going to go ahead and cloak everything. Unfortunately, DRG is just moving forward. Broodlord is just shelling away. None of them have died off. It's just Lings, essentially, has been dying.
Yeah, and the Mothership goes down, and that's all the rest of the cloaking ability, unfortunately, for the rest of this army. Look at that! The endless transfusions hitting this Broodlord while the entire Stalker army is demolished, and Hero is now down by 100 supply. That was great control from Dongriku and a huge overcommit from Liquid Hero.
Yeah, this game is looking over. Heroes happen to just micro these 2 Colossi, and behind it, he hasn't had anything production tap for a good 20 seconds because he's had to micro so darn hard in that engagement, and it's not really working out for him. The Bruisers are just shelling away, Lings are constantly reinforcing, we have DRG constantly expanding, constantly injecting as well, and he has a 25,500 bank available to keep with the reinforcements. This is not looking good for Hero whatsoever. He's on 2 bases because his main's kind of empty at the moment in terms of resources, and he has nothing to warp in.
Yeah, I mean, he had a lot of gas, so here come the Templar Warpins now as he starts to form up a couple of Archons. Archons are very, very efficient at taking out large groups of Zerglings, but unfortunately the last Colossus goes down at about 85, 90 kills on it, but that's so all. GG. 4-1 now in favor of MVP. Dongriku is rolling.
That he is, man. That he is. He did such a good job when the Phoenix Rex came his way. Of really just constantly keep droning up. Didn't really falter whatsoever. And then just small force. There was like 6 roaches and I think like 15 links to go to third to make sure that your opponent's not getting a gritty expansion down. And he just kind of floated around there for a little bit while still just droning. It was so well done. Like, whenever you have Phoenix come your way, guys, really treat them as an annoying unit and do what DRG did there, and you'll come out ahead in the mid game. That was so well done.
All right, guys. Well, we are going to run to a commercial break, and when we get back, it'll be time for game number 6. The final player for Team Liquid is entering. It is their newest player, the Zerg player Snoot.
Aw, yeah.